Hi everyone, I thought I'd just quickly jump on here to give you some of my literature tips and tricks for those of you who are approaching any literature exams. So let's get started. Question 1. Should I choose the thematic based question or the passage based question? Well, this is totally up to you and your personal preference. In the exam that I teach, there are two options for students. You get to choose either the thematic based question, which is like a general overview question, which might have something to do with an analysis of a character or a theme that's been running through the text. The second choice is the passage based question or the extract. And the extract is selected and given to students, and they can read through that, and it's usually a little bit more specific in the way that it's asked to approach the question. So when I'm teaching, I try and tell my students to choose whichever one they are comfortable with. Now, with the literature exam, we are looking for evidence to back up the claims or your analysis of what is being said in the text. Some of my students don't study all that much, so they are probably better off with the passage-based question because the text is there and they don't have to really remember that many quotes. If you are a gun, then you know what, I would probably give the thematic-based question a go, as long as you've memorized some quotes that you can use in the exam. Question 2. How many words should I write? Well, unlike a lot of other exams, there is no word limit for this. You should be able to write a response that's long enough and detailed enough that provides enough evidence that you know the text very well. Could you do it in a page? Probably not. Could you do it in 3 pages? Probably. And does it, handwriting and all of those sort of things come into play? But basically, you should be writing enough to convince the examiner that you know what you're talking about. Okay, so get in there and write fast. That's the key. Question 3. How will they be marked? Well, according to the mark scheme, of course, but you should know prior to entering the exam what the assessment objectives are. Sorry, it's a bit of a tongue twister. And you should know how each sentence in your writing is going to hit one of those assessment objectives. So before you go into the exam, not only should you know your text very well, but you should also know the assessment objectives. Okay? All right, good luck with that one. And question 4, what's the difference between a good essay and a great essay? Well, the number one thing for me is planning. Even though you don't get any points for showing a plan, I've always noticed that students that do plan always seem to have more comprehensive and more coherent answers. They don't seem to be affected as much with time constraints and with exam pressure. So make sure that you spend that first 1 or 2 minutes reading the question and jotting out a plan in the top corner or somewhere that you can see it, so it makes it easier for the rest of the exam time. Also, students that have done practice essays, they certainly do better. Their level of English is probably a little bit better as well. And of course, students that have a wider range of vocabulary, they usually do better. But even though you might have a wide range of vocabulary, if you don't know the text and you're just making up your analysis on the fly and you haven't backed it up with evidence, then your essay is probably going to be good but not great. So you need to help yourself in these situations. Use your planning time really well and don't get too involved with what's happening around you. Remember, you have been trained every day for the last year or so to tackle this exam. So take it easy, breathe, and just be confident because you know you've got this. Okay, well, that's all from me today. Just a quick video to say that you've got this and that you are ready. So go into that exam feeling fit, feeling fine, feeling confident, and you'll knock it out of the park. Okay, bye.